beautiful day.
La 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 la.
La 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 la.
La 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 la.
Happy December!
It
Woo!
is.
We
It
made it
is.
to December.
Dude, it's
Oh,
December 1st, huh?
dude, it's crazy. Hey, Ella, can you believe it's December already?
Dude, it's the first of the month.
I love the shift between months. I feel
Yeah,
like there's something special that happens in the atmosphere.
I
In the
think there is.
atmosphere. Wow, look at all these people coming on. Say hi to us, you guys. Say hi. Set my alarm this time. Awesome, Cher. I'm so happy you're here. Oh, hello from Lake Taco. Lake Taco.
Like taco. That sounds delicious. I would
How's
swim
Lake
in that.
Taco? Lake Taco. Lake Tahoe. How's Lake Tahoe, Alina? Trisha is here. Hey,
Trisha House
Joy.
me.
Ella's here. Jacqueline. Lake
Sherry's
Taco.
here.
I know, like Lake Taco. Yum.
I'd settle
Hey,
for
Joanna. What?
Lake Burrito.
I'm more
Breakfast
of a
burrito.
lake carne asada plate.
Yeah.
Swim over to the rice and then over to the beans.
Floating around on a French fry.
Ooh. It's cold and snowy. Oh, jealous. Cold and snowy in Lake Taco. Trisha, hey girl. Yes, as you guys come on, I would love it if you would share happy hour, share the joy on your page. So everybody right now, 1, 2, 3, share. Share. That would be so appreciated because we are going to bring some joy and some goodness today for the season of joy.
Yeah.
It's a season of joy. It's a season of joy, and we want as many people as possible to drink of the joy. So go ahead, share it on your Facebook page. And why don't we tag 2 people that you know would need encouragement right now? Like, who is God putting on your heart right now that would need an encouraging word? Because if you're thinking about them, then probably God is too. And he's going to give them a word, right?
And that one that you just thought about, that was, no, but I can't share it with that person. That's the one you need to share it with.
Oh, yes. Do it scared.
Yep.
Yep. That's the one. So share. Hey, Tiffany. Oh, yes. Come on. Keep sharing. It's the season of joy. And I think there's a window today to just enter. I feel it's full of joy. And I know Johnny's always full of joy. So let's bring everybody into our fold of joy. All right. So let's start. Johnny and I were actually talking before we went live here. And first of all, welcome, Johnny Walsh.
Thank you, Lucille.
For those of you who have not heard Johnny speak before or share, tell us a little bit about Johnny Walsh. Who is Johnny?
Johnny is a good boy.
Johnny's a good boy.
Johnny is nice. I am a father. I'm a husband. I am an artist. I'm a full-time freelance designer. I also do ministry. And
Did you say mystery or ministry? Because it sounded like you said
I mean,
mystery.
it's kind of the same thing. The ministry that I'm in is more mystery than ministry, right? But I am a mystic at heart and fingertip. So it's just it's who I am. It's what I love to do. Doing this is what brings me life. Conversating, talking with people, and so I guess, like, in a nutshell, how did I get in this nutshell? But that's kind of where I'm at.
So you're a weirdo for Jesus.
I am.
Yeah.
I think Jesus was a weirdo, though, so it's okay.
Yeah. What does even weird mean? I've never thought about, like, the word weird. I wonder
What
what
if
that
we're normal and everybody else is weird?
What if somebody could somebody look up and see what is the definition of weird and where did that go? That's like my brain is like, who came up with that word weird and be like, you know what? That person is weird. I'm gonna call that person weird because but like somebody at one point in time in history came up with the word weird.
Yeah. You know what's funny? Liam, my oldest son, he's 10 years old, came up to me last week and he was kind of upset and he was talking about like, people call me weird. He was talking about going back to school and he's like, some people call me weird. And he like started to get really sad. And I was like,
Mm.
dude, I'm sorry. He's like, I don't want to go back to school because some people call me weird. He's like, all right. I said, well, hey, Liam, I just want to say that, you know, if somebody calls you weird or anything else, it doesn't really matter. Like, how do you see yourself? How do you see yourself? Because 9 times out of 10, and not the skewed version, but the version that you see yourself in before somebody comes and drops their steaming load of meh,
Yeah.
how do you see yourself? Because that's probably how God sees you and what He's put inside you, and how He wants you to view yourself. Like, so if somebody else sees you as something else and they call you something else that doesn't really like mesh with who you are, you can just go ahead and throw it away. You don't have to get frustrated. You don't have to be upset because
Yeah.
they misunderstood you. You can just say, hey, that person doesn't get me. That
Yeah.
person doesn't get me at all. And in fact, remove yourself from them so they can't get you.
Yeah.
So and just really like pouring that into him, and it encouraged him. And then I walked away and was like, hey, I need to do that too.
Yes, and I think if you're not weird, it's kinda boring, like, why would
Yeah.
you but look at these, the definition of weird. Strikingly odd or unusual, especially in an unsettling way.
Mm.
Strange, but I love this. Suggestive of the supernatural.
That's totally me, dude.
And look at this one, suggesting something supernatural or uncanny.
Come on, dude.
Come on, who knew? See, I knew weird had something
I love it.
great on it. So yes, let's be weird. Let's be weird, let's be supernatural, and I actually love that it said unsettling because we were
Yeah,
just talking about this, about just for us, for the 2 of us, being in a season of not being afraid of saying what we want, what God is saying,
yeah.
not holding back. So talk a little bit about that, like what are you feeling? Like, what is going on in Johnny world today? And I know that's a special world to be in.
I'm definitely like in my season of like provoking,
Yes,
and
unsettling, right?
yeah,
Mhm.
big time. And I think that that word is misunderstood a lot. Like,
Mhm.
oh, he provoked me, like, but you can look, in your Bible and you're going to find that you're supposed to be provoking, and you're supposed to be provoked. And Jesus came to provoke you.
That's what he
I,
did.
I didn't come to bring peace. I came to bring fire.
Mm,
His words, not mine.
mm.
And it's like that provoking is supposed to provoke us into a place where we bring peace, because blessed are the peacemakers, right?
Yeah.
So for me, it's that place of, hey, like that thing that you're burning with,
Mm.
it's time to go ahead and say it.
Ooh,
That thing that you've been, holding on to, it's time for you to speak it out. It's time for you to
mhm.
declare it. It's time for you to show it. It's time for you to walk in it. Like
Yeah.
those things that you resonate with, and you're just like, wow, if I could just be
Mm.
like that. The reason you're resonating with that is because you are like that. And
Wow.
it's time for you to actually to cowboy up.
Come
You know what
on.
I mean? It's time for you to get on that bull and ride it. You know what I mean? It's who you are. It's what you were designed to be, and it's your birthright. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's and you're supposed to provoke people into being who they're supposed to be. Like I recently just heard Damon Thompson, amazing apostle.
Mm,
Like I just heard Damon Thompson talk about an apple. He's like, if somebody comes to you with this Washington red delicious apple, and it's juicy, it's plump, it's ready for you to eat, they're going to say, what is this? And you're going to say, it's an apple.
hmm.
Somebody comes up to you with that same type of apple, but like a season before where it's smaller and it's still green and, you know, like tastes bitter, what are you going to say? Like, well, what is this? They're going to say, well, it's an apple. It's
Mm,
still an apple no matter what season it's in. Sometimes, like, you know, like we tend to like look at ourselves based on what our growth is and say, well, that's not who I am.
mhm,
But we have to have that like that view of where you're actually looking from up here down and like seeing as he sees and says,
mhm.
oh, that is who I am. I'm
Yeah,
just in my season of maturity. You know, like you have that young season, you have that mature season. And I think one of the difference in that is that you're able to actually to see yourself like how he sees you.
yeah.
And that's what brings maturity.
But that's what the prophetic does too,
It
right? The
does
prophetic sees
100%.
you in maturity. It sees you as a mature person, and so you get to partner with that, and we talked a little bit about that too
Yeah.
before we went on here. It's like, okay, so somebody gives you a prophetic word, but what do you do with it?
I think you keep doing what you're doing.
Mm, that's
And
good.
I don't mean like, hey, you're getting a prophetic word. Like, there's a lot of times where like someone's like kind of in this really funky place and they'll get this prophetic word, you know, and I'm not saying stay in your funky place.
Mhm.
I'm not like saying that because a lot of the times we receive a prophetic word to get out of our funky place.
Yeah.
But like, say you're like hitting it and you're doing what you're supposed to be doing and you're feeling it. And then you get this same word over and over and over and over throughout the years.
Yeah.
You know, and I've heard different people say different things about that. But in my life, what I know to be true,
Mm,
notice the word that I said, what I know to be true, because I've been intimate with my words. And I've
mm,
been intimate with my father who speaks those words to me. And he doesn't just tell somebody something that he's not going to tell me.
mm.
Right? Like when I
Good.
get a word, I can tell that word is real because I feel it. And it's usually confirmation of what he's already said to me. Right?
Yeah.
So what I do is I take it as encouragement. It
Come
doesn't
on.
mean like I was telling Osea, like I've gotten these words about you're going to shift Miami, you're going to shift Hollywood and LA, you're going to shift Houston, you're going to shift Arizona and Dallas and Chicago and all these other places that I've heard that I'm going to be a part of a shifting. You know, like that doesn't mean I move to those places.
Right.
It doesn't mean I forsake where I'm at, right? It doesn't mean I pack up camp and I go there. I
Yeah.
always think about Jeremiah 29:11, where everybody wants to go back home to Israel, you know, and in comes a prophet says, hey, all these other people are talking yang yang, like just to make you feel better. You're not leaving Babylon, you're staying in Babylon. In
Come
fact,
on.
you'll be in Babylon for another season of 70 years. So what I want you to do in Babylon is I want you to start businesses in Babylon. I want you to have
Mm.
children in Babylon, sons and daughters, and marry them off. And I want you to pray that Babylon prospers, because
Yeah.
when Babylon prospers, because you've decided to get involved in Babylon, then so will you.
Dude.
This wasn't a
Yes.
place of go back to Israel. This was a place of extend your tent pegs by extending the territory of your mind to
Come
see
on.
Babylon as Israel, to see that what
Whoa.
I'm giving you is more. It's like that place where, you know, like you see this in like small towns where they just build a brand new shopping center and everybody buys, you know, like a little storefront of the shopping center, and they establish the shopping center. And then 5 years later, they move to another place because it's the new. So
Yeah.
what it does is create a large ghost town instead of like actually taking ground. Well, hey man, if you feel like you need to grow, then why don't you start another business at that other place? You know, it's
Dude.
like don't pack up camp.
No.
Don't pack up camp where you've been established and where you've been called to be. And hey, check in. Wait a minute, am I supposed to be here? Yeah, I'm supposed to be here. Then why would I leave here just to chase something else? I'm telling you to stay where you are and trust in what
Mhm.
he's saying and extend rather than think about uprooting.
Come on. That's good. Say that again. Extend rather than
Extend rather
uprooting.
than uproot. You're not a tumbleweed.
Whoa.
You're an oak of righteousness. You're not a
Yes.
tumbleweed.
Wow, that is really, really good, actually. And I just got this picture, and I remembered something too. So the picture I got, actually, I'll say what I remembered first. So we went out on to the Encinitas Street Fair a couple weeks
Yeah.
ago with a
I
team.
wanted to go.
Oh, it was so good. So we went down there knowing that we shift the atmosphere, right? Like we
Mhm.
know that we carry heaven. And here's what happened is like we intentionally went up to booths that did not have anybody there. They didn't have anybody and no customers. Like it had the vendors were there and they were just kind of sitting around waiting for people to come. Here's what happened, you guys. As soon as we walked up, we were a team of 3. As soon as we walked up to that booth, people came
Wow.
and they bought things. They didn't just come, but they bought things. And I really believe that not only did we create curiosity, but we
Mhm.
carry heaven in such a way wherever we go that we carry favor and influence and abundance.
Come on.
And so it happened over and over and over again. Every time we stepped up to a booth, people would come and they bought things from that vendor or
Yeah.
they started having a conversation. And so that's who we are as kingdom people. And I want you to, even right now, as you're sitting here right now, put your hand on your heart,
Come
just
on.
put your hand on your chest and just breathe in God, breathe in heaven real quick. Just go. And as you let out, realize that you're letting out all of heaven, that all of heaven lives inside of you.
Yeah.
That Jesus said, greater things you are going to do than this.
Come on.
Greater things. And that's because when he breathed himself into you and breathed his spirit into you, he literally deposited the power, all of heaven's power lives inside of you. So of course you're going to shift the
Yeah.
atmosphere wherever you go. Of course. And I love this. Recently, there's a lot of talk about it actually right now. Like Oprah, like so many people are talking about this, about the power of gratitude. That gratitude, like the trainer that I work with my leadership training, all of that, not Christian people, they all talk about the power of gratitude, how
Mhm.
gratitude actually changes, reroutes the wiring of your
Yeah.
brain and brings you health to your mind. But not only that, that gratitude is one of the highest forms of energy ever. Like it's an energy, the gratitude, the energy behind gratitude. And so when you walk into a room, and I believe it's the same with joy and hope and
Yeah.
peace. So when you walk into the room and you walk in with this energy of heaven, the language of heaven, of gratitude, of joy, of peace and hope, you actually bring that water level up wherever
Right.
you go because the person with the highest form of energy in the room shifts the entire room. This is science, you guys.
Yeah.
Like they have measured brain waves of people in a room and somebody steps in and we know that can happen with negative. Like we have people in our lives that will suck the energy out of a room,
Come on.
right? And so what if you in that instance come in and you come in with the energy of joy, hope, peace, gratitude, and you get to shift that atmosphere wherever you go.
Gee, that's good.
Right? And it's science. I love science. I think you can be totally Jesus weirdo and follow science at the same time because I think that God created science. So obviously
Yeah.
it is wild, right? So Tanya says that's wild. That happens to me and my family all the time. We do it on purpose. Yes, it's literally because you carry the energy of heaven. You carry the flow of heaven. And so wherever you go, physically, you are changing things.
Yeah.
And when you think about further than that, we are all made up of molecules and atoms. So it's energy is holding us together. The Bible actually says that Jesus holds everything together. That
Yeah.
it's Jesus that holds us all together. So right now I'm sitting here and I am millions and billions of molecules and atoms being held together by energy. So is Johnny. But when we're together, our molecules and atoms actually intercede.
Yeah.
Like I put my energy onto Johnny, Johnny puts his onto mine. And that's I think is what's the power of communion and of being together and worshiping together. Like
There's
there's this
actually particles. There's actually
particle. Yeah.
measurable particles and vibrations that when one person comes into the vicinity of another person can be found inside that person.
Whoa. Yeah.
You know, so it's like, so in that sense, it even makes you think about intimacy. Like, what are you sharing?
Yeah.
You know, like the Bible says to lay hands and pray for the
What?
sick, but it also says to watch out who you let lay hands on you or who you lay hands on.
Whoa.
And it does that whole watch out wasn't just a don't let it happen. It's telling you to count the cost and get your mind right before you do it.
So there's actually science behind this.
Yeah.
So think about that, you guys. Think about when you put your hands, that's why we lay hands on people to receive healing. It's because our faith level, like our, you know what I mean? It's like there's an exchange of energy there, of particles,
Yeah.
of what you carry actually changing the physical being that's in front of you.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
That's amazing.
And I wonder too, like going even further, what about Paul when he was like swirling his handkerchief around? Like,
Yeah.
what are those particles? You know, I
Like
mean,
there was something that was on what he touched or wore.
yes.
Or Peter, when Peter walks down the street and his
And his
aura,
shadow. Yeah, his
his
aura.
yeah, dude, it like it healed people.
Don't be afraid of that word aura, by the way. Like, I know it's a new agey word, but hey, it's ours first.
And I use the word aura because that is the correct translation.
Come
It
on.
wasn't his shadow, it was his
Wow.
aura.
Yes.
It was
Have
his
you
light.
Have you ever seen, so a lot of times in worship, especially at church, I will see people's light. I'll see their, it's like this like extra layer around people, and it's a real thing, and it's actually a lot of times where I see things like a word or something over people in that space. So
Yeah,
if you've ever seen that, if you experienced looking at someone and you feel like there's a light emanating, put me or put a 1 in the comments, and just because I think it's not just us.
yeah,
And next time you're in church, I want you to actually look for that. Look for that. Even when you go out into the grocery store, look to see if you can see the extra little layer that's around a person. And
yeah,
it's their energy or their aura. And maybe this sounds weird to you, but you know what? I'm here to take back the weird. It's ours. It's God. It's God. It's God. It's God. It's not the psychics. Yes, they have taken some of this stuff, but hey, let's bring it back. Right?
yeah.
Yeah, so if you're interested in knowing more about it, put me in the comments. It is very, very cool. I learned it from a long time ago, actually, and from a friend of mine. His name is Jamie Weston, and I would go out, and he would literally see words written over people in their like energy around them. See, yeah. So good to see you too, Kimberly. Good to see you.
You know what's funny is I was talking to Wendy about this today. I actually texted her on my way back from the gym like this morning, before all the craziness. I like to go to the gym and get it done. And this is the first day that I really felt like, you know, coming out of having the flu and everything last weekend, and that
Oh yeah.
I can get out and I can breathe again, you know. Um, but it was just this thought of, if God keeps his promises of peace to his children, then that means he has to keep his promise of peace to himself first.
Whoa.
You know, like we're talking about the creator of all creation who has to subdue and then teaches us to subdue, right? But he has to subdue even what he creates.
Mm.
You know, that there are things that actually come against his peace. It's not that, oh, you know what, God's sitting up right there, you know, and you know, why even bother, you know, like, so everything just kind of goes away from him.
Yeah.
No, like he keeps his peace,
Yes.
right? And then I can look at him an example and keep my peace. And then what do? But
Mm.
come in contact with other people, just like how he come
Yeah.
in contact with me to
Mhm.
teach me how to keep my peace.
Yeah.
And he offers peace.
Come on.
Therefore, when I come in contact with other people, I offer peace. Going
Yeah.
back a little bit to when you were talking about gratitude, like I mean, I work with youth as, like one of the youth pastors at our church, in Beach
Mhm.
Chapel, but I also work with mentoring youth out in the world, and one thing that I know is when I have one of my mentees come in and they're having a bad day, it's like, hey, let's talk about this right now.
Mhm.
If they have some kind of attitude like nonchalant, like and the same thing with the youth, and you've worked with youth, so you know what I'm talking about. When they have that lackadaisical, just like whatever, like
Yeah,
that gets on you,
yeah, yeah,
like in the workplace and friendships and in relationships,
mhm,
nobody wants to be with that crap. You know
right.
what I mean? It's like, but when you have that gratitude, what do you attract? Oh man, I really like working with that person.
Yes,
I felt appreciated.
yeah,
I felt known. I felt seen. That person's gratitude actually changed me and brought me into
yeah,
gratitude, right? Like there's a reason why we enter his gates with gratitude.
yes,
Part of that is because he's already emitting gratitude.
yeah,
So when you come into it, you begin to like shift your atmosphere into gratitude. You know,
yeah.
I think that's our presence.
It is our presence, and I love that you mentioned appreciation because I actually read this morning, I was, like, really reading about gratitude, and, like, another up level actually of gratitude is appreciation.
Yeah,
It's gratitude, but if you can appreciate or tell someone, like, not only, like, keep it in here and feeling that energy of gratitude, but actually share the appreciation for a person, that actually is even a higher
come on.
form of energy. Isn't that cool? I mean, this was not a Christian journal, this is science,
Yeah,
and so it's appreciation, and I love somebody commented about seeing the light in someone, like, sometimes she could see the light and sometimes or the lack of it, and I remember this teaching or actually it's not even a teaching, but have you ever looked at a baby, a newborn baby, and when they first open their eyes, what do you see? There's this light.
yeah,
There's this their spirit, right? There's just this light that's just, like, emanating. If you've seen that, if you know what I'm talking about, looking at a newborn, say yes in the comments. Just let me know if you've seen that before. If you recognize that light, that when you look at a baby, there's this light that
yeah,
comes out of them. Light. If you've seen that, let me know. Yes. So it's like you look at they're just emanating. They're emanating. And how many of you guys have ever seen when that light goes away? Like either it's maybe it's been maybe it's even been you that you're hurting someone's feelings and you know you are and their light
yeah,
dims. Have you seen that light dim? There's a light and then when you speak life into that person, you see it come back up.
yeah,
Like you literally see the shift in their person. Right? And so I think that's like what the prophetic does. It's like that's why when you're prophesying over someone and they get it, when it touches their heart, you see the light, like the
yeah,
light that they had when they were a baby, when they first opened their eyes, that light comes back. With any kind of ministering or appreciation or gratitude or healing or praying for someone, when they get it, the light comes back.
yeah.
So
That's
there's something there. I love that. And it can happen with appreciation. Just tell someone today how much you appreciate them and watch their light come back on.
one thing I've noticed, like when I'm like with a server or at a clerk's desk or something like that, grocery store, any store, like I used to always say, like God bless you, or like God bless, and used to get a lot of God blesses back, right?
Mhm.
But it's kind of like a weird place right now, like and I heard the Lord speak to me some years ago, where He was like, "Did you mean it when you said that?" And I was
Yeah.
like, "Well, yeah, I did." And He's like, "Well, go back and bless that man."
Mm.
And I went back and prayed for him. His hip was healed and his knee was healed. I went into the parking lot, and this lady came walking up, and her back was healed. And then the man who was uh, rolling up a blunt came out of his like blazer, was like, "I saw what just happened for her. Can you pray for me?" Like, and it was this place of like, whoa, wait a minute, actually blessing someone rather than just saying bless you, right? And this thing is kind of snowballed in even further, that the Lord says, like, when you show appreciation to people, you're actually blessing them.
Come on.
Like, when you
Yes.
actually let them know that they're appreciated, you bless them. So now what I do, and it's not to say that I don't wanna say God or invoke his name, you
Mhm.
know, like, he lives inside me. I cannot not invoke him. He is right here inside me constantly. The same exact spirit that rose Christ from the dead and however other many people from the dead, and that was, like, forward in the future and
Yeah.
back and everything, like, that's inside me, right?
Mhm.
So, I'm not worried about not being a witness to him.
Mhm.
What I want is to witness more and to
Yeah.
be more like him. So
Yes.
one of the things that I always say to people that are serving me or dealing with me is like, I appreciate you. Thank you.
Come
It's not
on.
like they hand me a napkin, thank you, I appreciate it. No, no, thank you, I appreciate you. I really appreciate you. And
That
I
is so
see
good.
people do this like, what?
Hmm.
Thank you. Thank you. Like the words, I appreciate you. You
Wow.
know? And I almost feel like how that word to appreciate, for something to appreciate and value, it's almost say like when you really think about like, I appreciate you,
Yeah.
it's I'm giving you a blessing
Mm.
to move on even more. But at the
Carry
same
the
time,
grace.
it's as if like I almost feel like saying, "You appreciate me. You've served me, and you've brought me into this place of like peace. And the way that you've served me, you've actually appreciated me."
Yeah.
You know, and it even, dude, it
Mhm.
everything just kind of snowballs into everything. It's like I love you because you loved me first,
Yeah.
right? You
Right.
know, like he appreciated me. He brought me into more.
I love that.
You know, like it's like to appreciate someone is to bring more to them, not
Yes.
to take away from them.
No.
Like when I say I appreciate you, I'm actually giving you this blessing, this glory and this grace that's been given to me, and I'm
Mhm.
bestowing it upon you. Like you, wow, thank you for what you've done, and I bless you with more because of what you've done for me. Like it's this crazy, amazing thing that I just think it's appreciation is a deep form of gratitude that,
Yes.
you know, it's just we can talk about it or we can just do it, you
And
know?
appreciation goes beyond any differences that you have with the person.
Yeah,
Appreciation is seeing them who they are in Christ and then actually appreciating them from
right,
that place and just and I love that you said like it's a deeper form of gratitude because it is. And
right.
it's a higher form of energy even that we get to share out into the universe to to change the atmosphere.
Yeah,
And there was a friend of mine recently, I think it was about a week ago, she wasn't in a good place that day. And so she had sent me a message and wasn't doing well. I'd say like 10 minutes later, there was another message from her, completely changed her demeanor, smiling. The light came back on because somebody had paid for her coffee at Starbucks.
come on.
Okay, and so she felt that blessing, that appreciation, even though she didn't know the person, but, like, even being seen and appreciated from heaven completely changed. So I wanna challenge us all. Today is like, this is the season of Advent, right? The season of Advent. So what if we, for every day from now until Christmas, we give someone in our life appreciation.
So
Like,
good.
not just being like, "Hey, I appreciate you," but, like, actually look them in the eyes and say, "I really like Johnny, I appreciate you.
Thank you.
I really, really appreciate you. I appreciate you. You're my brother. You're my spirit twin, and I can talk to you about anything, and you're never gonna judge me. You're always gonna just hold me high no matter what, so I
Yeah,
appreciate you."
I
Like, do
appreciate
that.
you.
Yeah. "Hey, Albert, I appreciate you, Albert. I appreciate you." Albert's my brother, literally, not quite
You know what's
literally.
crazy? This, last week, I went to a celebration of life, a funeral, and,
Mhm,
it's when I got home from a funeral in, Colorado, I went to another funeral. I found out that there's a homeless man in Barrio Logan. His name
mhm,
is Jose, and, Jose lived right next to the bridge at Chicano Park,
mm,
and he had this one little area that he just, like, kept it beautiful. and they called it the Oasis. And Jose would go up and down Logan Avenue, and he would service all the different businesses on Logan Avenue. He would take out their trash. He would sweep the storefronts. He would let them know if there was any weird activity going on the street. Like for years and years and years, decades, this is what Jose did. And they found him non-responsive due to health issues that he had, and it wasn't due to alcohol or drugs. Like Jose didn't do any of that stuff. It wasn't. That's not who he was. He loved his community. He didn't have a home. He didn't have anything except for the clothes that he had, right? But even that he kept nice. The thing about Jose though is, at his celebration of life, the whole block showed up.
Wow.
Like, businesses closed so that they could have this celebration for Jose. Everybody grabbed candles and wrote stuff, like memories of Jose on these candles, and then brought it over to his Oasis and laid them down after that, after we had, had like a little like ceremony and watched these pictures of his life. And the day before, my friend MJ, who had officiated it, was given his yearbook, and we're looking at his senior year yearbook, and we're hearing about all the things that Jose did when he was 18 years old, and then seeing all these pictures from then all the way up till now. And I just felt so like elated when I saw, and heard what people were saying about him. But like the fact that this man had nothing and he gave everything. There's so many times where you're like, hey, that word is amazing, but I don't have enough to step into that word. I don't have, I'm not equipped to do that yet. I'm just going to stay back here and, let it work itself out sometimes, and that's not what Jose did. That's not what this homeless man did. He had nothing. And the entire community of Barrio Logan shows up to celebrate and dare I say praise, like what this man had done for the community. When a homeless person passes away in a city, it just goes unlooked.
Yeah.
But this neighborhood, this part of the city, this borough couldn't look away because of how he had appreciated, brought a level up to this community. Yeah. And it really spoke to me of like, what is it that you're to do? What is it you're called to do? And what is it that you've turned away because you felt you weren't equipped for, or didn't have enough money for, or my house isn't big enough to host for, or all these other little things, like my house isn't big enough for me to host worship in my home right now.
Yeah.
Well, that's not something Jose would say. He didn't have a house. But like everything he had, he did for beautification and appreciation for the community around him.
Wow.
And that's part of that processing and walking into who you are, and walking into your prophecies, and walking into your blessings, walking into glory, walking into grace.
Gosh.
Sometimes we don't need God to give us any more grace than we have because we haven't stepped in to what he's given us.
Wow.
Like it's that thing about, I'm going to go for the glory. I'm going to go for the glory. But I can show you so many places in the Bible that says you are his glory.
Come on.
Well, what does that mean? That means you need to know who you are. That's where prophecy comes in for me. You need to know your identity.
Yes.
And when you know who you are, you then give thanks and appreciation to the one whose you are.
Yes.
You dive into knowing whose you are, which brings you back into who you are, which brings you back into whose you are to who you are. And it's this beautiful, like this beautiful, like circle, this beautiful, like, like it reminds me of a candy cane, like where everything's all twisted together and you can't tell one taste from the other. They just blend. You know what I mean? It's
so good.
It's that place of like, like this is who you are. Stop saying you can't do because you have little. You've been given a lot, like even diving into the talents recently, like this man was given this many talents. This man was given this many talents. This man was given this many talents. Who multiplied them and how, right? and who
Mhm.
just sat on it because they were insecure, right?
Yeah.
And this is
Stay in
what
the
Jesus
Spirit.
is saying is I'm giving you these talents. But
Yeah.
for me, I was even in this place recently where I was like, hey, I'm not I'm not giving I'm not making enough with what God has given me, like even financially, because we hear this talked about financially all the time. But this wasn't even a message of finance.
Mm.
The whole talent,
Yeah.
the talent parable had nothing to do with finances.
Yeah.
Can you show me where Jesus gave any funds to his disciples?
Right.
No, but he gave them talents, didn't he? And
Yeah.
they took them and they multiplied them.
Yes.
Sometimes it's not about what you have or what you think. Sometimes it's not about what you think you don't have,
Yeah.
about what you do have that you haven't realized yet.
Yes, I love this. It says, such a good word. Thank you for the powerful reminder that what I have is enough for today.
Come on.
What you have is enough for today. What you have is what God has given you. What are you doing with it? And I love that. I won't give God nothing, something that doesn't cost me anything. So it's
Yeah,
going to cost you something. Like the parable of the talent. The guy was afraid. He was afraid of not having anything left for himself, right? And so it's like, what are you doing with what you already have? And it could be as easy as just appreciating the people around you,
come
like
on.
just speaking life into the people around you. That goes a long way. It's a trickle down effect. And I think it was Jacqueline up here that said wanted to show that the actual uh what do you call it? Definition. The definition of appreciation is to recognize the full worth or realize the value of. Right? And so that's what we get to do with each other, is that we get to recognize the full worth
That's
or their
good.
value, and what you bring value to, what you bring your talent to actually gets deposited back into you hundredfold, right? And so deposit your appreciation, and you're going to receive back so much more. Um, I want to prophesy over people. This was such a good conversation. Thank you so much, Johnny. You're always like, gosh, you
Always.
can never go wrong listening to Johnny Walsh, you guys. If you don't already follow him, Johnny Walsh on Facebook or Johnny Walsh on Instagram. I think it's just
Yeah,
Johnny
I
Walsh.
think it's on Instagram. I think it's Johnny Walsh 13 is my personal, and all my art is Johnny Walsh Creatives at Johnny Walsh Creatives, or my personal is at Johnny Walsh 13.
Yes, do that. And then what is your Venmo where people want to sew into? Remember, you sew into the
Yeah,
profit, receive the profit's reward. So what is your Venmo?
my Venmo is at Johnny Walsh Creatives with an S at the end.
Okay.
It's the same as my Instagram.
Oh, Johnny. All one word?
Yep, at Johnny Walsh Creatives.
Okay. All right. I'm going to add that banner because
There it
this
is.
is.
Oh, hey, there's a lovely lady in the crowd who put it there too.
Hey. Oh, nice.
Hey,
Nice, nice,
YG.
nice. That's so nice. Yeah. Sow into Johnny. It's good soil to sow into. And yes. So I wanted to mention something before we start prophesying because
Yeah,
I don't want to lose out. I know we're running out of time, but I am actually doing a online workshop called Angels.
come on.
Here on December 17th is on Zoom. It's from 3 to 5 p.m. And the purpose of the workshop is to not only open your eyes to see in the spirit, to see what the angelic is doing around you, see what heaven is doing around you, but to also partner with it so that you can bring change, so you can shift the atmosphere, so you can see what heaven is doing and actually partner with it in a tangible, practical way. So it's December 17th from 3 to 5 p.m. And I'm going to post, let's see if I can post the comment here. I'm going to post the link to register for that. But if you don't grab it today, just keep a lookout because it's going to be coming. I'll be posting it and sending it. Let's see if that posts there. That's the link right here. That's the link. It's a little bit long to remember, but it's in the comments right here. So just keep a lookout. Keep a lookout in your email. If you don't receive my email, make sure to check your spam. Or if you're not on my email list, DM me. For those of you guys who are in the Prophetic League, the Prophetic League is this group of people that get together and prophesy and be word together. This, of course, is included. Like, this is you just join on this. There's a discount code I'll give you for that. So it's $7, and it's November 17th from 3 to 5 p.m. Come and have your eyes opened. Like, I work with the angels all the time. It's how I minister a lot. It's a lot of times how I am able to shift an atmosphere in a room. And just a quick story of that. I might have told you this story before, but one of the most impactful stories, I think there's a lot, but partnering with angels, I'll share just the one about my daughter. So my daughter was having a panic attack in the car. She was going through a season of just anxiety. It's a few years ago. Literal panic attack, couldn't breathe, didn't know what to do. We're about to go into a store and she's like, I don't know what to do. I didn't know how to help her. I had no idea how to help her except saying, like, you're going to be okay. So God told me to call on one of my angels, and I literally just whispered the angel's name, and I kid you not, it was maybe like 5 seconds later, she was okay. She was okay. So that's just an example of how to partner. Like, you can partner with angels in your church service. What is the angelic doing? You can partner with them. You can do exactly what they're doing. And sometimes they actually do what you're doing. So it's like an interactive. And did you know, here's the cool thing. There's over 180 mentions of the angelic in the New Testament alone. 180 mentions of the angelic in the New Testament. And guess what, Johnny? 3/4 of those are on earth. 75% of the mentions of the angelic in the New Testament alone happen on earth.
Yeah.
People literally had encounters with angels in their dreams, in person. Like, an angel literally freed Paul from the shackles in prison.
Yeah.
So it was in dreams and visions and in person. And so why aren't we talking about it today?
Yeah.
And this workshop is designed to open your heart, the eyes of your heart, the eyes of your imagination, to see it and to start working or start doing it. So,
you know, one thing that like perplexes me a little bit.
Yeah.
You know that I have lots of friends who are brujas, witches, New Agers, into shamanistic type stuff, and we have these talks a lot, like about like what I believe, what they believe, and how some of these things are actually intertwining. Like, whoa, I had no idea that like a believer believed that. The funny thing is I never hear them talk about demons.
Wow.
I always hear them talk about angels.
Come on, yeah.
Here's the weird flip side, though.
Yeah, it's huge in the New Age.
I hear people in church talk about demons all the time.
Yeah.
I hear Christians talk about demons all the time.
So much.
Maybe, like, I would say that if you can make it to this workshop, go to this workshop.
Yeah.
Like, learn about the things of heaven.
Yes.
Learn about the servants of God.
Yeah.
Right? Like, we're the sons of God.
Yeah.
They're the servants of God. Learn about this. Like dive into what is heaven doing?
Yeah.
What does heaven say? Right?
Yeah.
Like, let's talk about what the enemy is doing and more talk about what God is actively doing right here and right now.
Yes.
I would say this is totally worth your time.
Yes.
3 to 5, 2 hours that
2
could
hours.
Like, totally extend so much more life-givingness into your life. Like,
It
life
changed my life.
you know what I
Like,
mean?
it's yeah.
Who you partner with. So.
It's changed my life, and people ask me that all the time. They're like, "Do you see demons?" And I'm like, "Well, I could, but I don't focus on that." It's like, it's not my focus. My focus is on what heaven is doing.
Yeah.
And so I don't focus on the demonic, because I think that heaven actually supersedes all of that and is more powerful than that. So yeah, I love that, Wendy. Hey, who's this girl? What you focus on, you will find.
It's true.
So I think we have time for a little bit of prophetic ministry, so get ready to receive, assume the position.
Come
If you
on.
want a prophetic word, put me in the comments. And as usual, as we prophesy over people, prophesy over that person or find someone in the chat, find someone to come on, Albert. Yes, Albert and I. Okay. So Albert and I actually had an encounter with an angel right here at Beach Chapel.
Come on.
And right, Albert? It was four of us. I think it was just four of us on stage. We were working on some songs and we heard this voice. And I know who it is now because that was kind of before I started seeing or even being open to that. But this voice literally said, "Hey!" And I just like Albert turned just like white like a ghost. He was just like,
Dude,
"What was that?" But it was really, really cool. So
I wonder
it'll
if
be
that's the same angel that's outside of like Ian and Rachel's house.
I
Because
don't
we were at
know.
Ian and Rachel's house.
I
We
think it
parked
was,
outside.
so there's an angel that I see all the time, his name is Josephus, and he,
Uh-huh.
like, literally he's like the house angel, like the house elf, but he lives
Yeah,
here,
like
and,
baby.
it's just cool. Josephus actually means the Lord will multiply.
Yeah.
So that just goes to show you that Beach Chapel, my church, is a house of multiplication, carries multiplication. So,
Awesome.
anyway, yeah, so always ready. Albert, remember that? That was so fun. Um, Scary but fun because it can be a little bit intimidating, honestly, when you start seeing things. You're like, "What?" Yes. All right. So let's thank you again, Johnny. Thank
Yeah,
you. Thank you.
absolutely.
All right, who do you got? You can see the comments, right?
I can see the comments. You know what? I'm going to prophesy, but I'm going to say like, "Hey, are you here?" And I'm going to give you like about 5-10 seconds to say I'm here, because if you're not here, I'm not going to prophesy over you.
Okay,
So
perfect.
I did see a name that popped up, and I kept seeing something for this guy. His name is Josh Surratt. Josh Surratt, are you there?
Yeah, he just posted.
Oh, there he
Look
goes.
at that.
Cool, man. Josh, I saw you with, and maybe it's like Christmas time, so I'm seeing this, right? Like I can see your picture a little bit better now, but where I was looking, it's teeny tiny. But I saw you with like this crown of holly, and it reminded me of, I think it's like the Ghost of Christmas Present from what is it, like Scrooge, where
Yeah,
it has
yeah.
like the candles.
Yeah.
And but like I saw this like crown of holly with candles, which was very I would say like almost Viking-esque.
Mm.
But I just see this illuminated, joyous mind.
Mm.
Um so Josh, like I really believe the Lord is speaking to you about joy. I really believe he's beginning to pour this joy into your life. For these situations of people who like just like they can't think of joy, much less happiness.
Mm.
Like there's just no definition for it. And I see you bringing this light to so many people. I see you bringing this this new way of thinking to so many people. Um,
Yeah.
Josh, I feel like you have business plans that you're going to be doing, almost like a consulting of passion projects,
Mm.
where it's this is my passion project, where even you have this passion project that you're now kind of venturing into, and it's totally Papa inspired and given to you. But I see you bringing these passion projects that people have into life, and it's going to be like from one of those things like how can you be a father, like how could you be a spiritual father to a people, a niche or something like that, unless you're doing it yourself? So I see the Lord actually pushing you forward into this passion project, and I
Mm.
see it actually bringing you into a place where you are going to be called on by so many people. Like I saw Josh do it. I
Yeah.
saw Josh do it. And I feel like it's even going to morph into like this secondary type thing of business where you'll come in as a consultant to help breathe life into people. in their passion projects. So it's kind of a two-part word. Part of it is just like to bring that new mind, that mind of Christ, that joy, that life to people, that light, and even to bring them into the things that bring joy, life, and light. Where they were feeling, kind of boxed up in their own businesses. So I bless you with that, and I declare that over you, Josh.
Yeah, I was immediately reminded of the Santa Lucia, um, tradition where I'm from. So it's December 13th, and you dress up, and there's always like a Santa Lucia. And Lucia, I was looking up, it actually means light. And
Wow.
and the main person, that's Santa Lucia, walks through and carries a crown of light. It's like there's candles, there's like literal candles, and then there's a bunch of people behind. So I was always like the people behind, but I always got to carry a little candle and wear a white robe. And I just speak that over you, Josh Surratt, that you are the Santa Lucia of Switzerland, that you are the Santa Lucia of Europe right now, that you are the one that has been given the crown of light, and that you are actually, as you walk forth carrying that light, that there are myriads and myriads and myriads, not just of people. I just also see the angelic following you to see where you're going. So I just feel like you're bringing light to a season, not just December, but there's a season in Europe right now where it feels dark, and that you are the one that carries the light. So I just bless you with that.
So is Josh of Viking descent?
I don't know. I think he's American, right? Josh, where are you from? Where's your ancestry from? Are you a Viking? I'm a Viking. Here's my rune tattoo. It's my power finger. I think it's so funny that, like you had your finger tattoos redone.
Yeah.
Pretty much at the same time as I had mine done.
Yeah.
And you were like, the Lord is marking the hands of the prophets. I'm like, yeah, bring it on. You're a redhead. Okay, maybe you are. Maybe you are. I don't know.
Yeah.
Interesting to find out. I saw my friend Henry. Henry, are you on here?
Henry?
Henry Haney.
Henry Haney?
What?
Could it be?
Could it be? Are you still on here, buddy?
I love that guy. Look at him with his head in the clouds.
Oh, Henry's just amazing. I don't know if you're still on here. If you're still on here, we'll give you a word. Do you have someone else in the meantime?
Joanna Tolley?
Yes, Joanna.
Joanna, I see you being surrounded by rest.
Hmm.
I'm just going to tell you what I saw. I saw like these, it looked like white feathers all over you. And it was this, I feel like you're surrounded by the angelic. But it almost made me feel as if like you were in a down pillow.
Mm.
And I just saw that the Lord is giving you rest. Like he's giving your head rest, because the things that you've had in your head have now gone to your heart. That the things that you've been contemplating are actually growing new life within you. And like I see you offering rest to other people. I see you bringing to light where it says that the Father gives his children rest to people.
Yeah.
I see like these, and this is gonna happen in a few different ways. Like it will happen in solutions, not just for yourself but for others. It'll happen in provisions. It will happen in revelation. And I believe that you're going to bring these to people. I believe you have a strong gift of prophecy.
Yeah.
It'd be discernment, but I believe that you are strong in prophesying.
Yes.
And I see you coming into a place where you're speaking into people and prophesying into people. And it's not like Bible thumping. It's like, oh, this and that, like, oh, by the way,
Mhm.
like blah, blah, blah. It's, to me, it almost feels like when someone gives you the inside scoop on a stock
Yeah.
or a bet or something like that. And I see the Lord using you in some pretty, like, well, we said the word weird earlier, right? So I would say uncanny and extraordinary supernatural ways. It's going to
Come
be
on.
pretty weird. It's going to be some people are actually going to be threatened by it. Don't worry about that. Like, where it comes from. It comes straight from Papa. Everybody doesn't have to understand it. We have the peace that passes all understanding, which means we're covered from misunderstanding too.
Yes.
So I just want to like prophesy over you that there are solutions, there's revelations, and
Come
there's
on.
active ways to apply peace. And I believe that your words are going to apply and give peace into people's hearts and minds.
Yes.
And even in that, you're going to go into some weird places where it's not going to be like these, thus saith the Lord, and God told me this. It's going to have to be really quick. It's going to be like, it's almost going to be fortune cookie status where, was that lady psychic? Was this, it's literally this place of, you don't have to worry about saying a name. The name is within you, and you're
Yeah.
in the name, the authority of. So I bless you with that.
Yeah. Oh, that's so good. Joanna's doing so great. Joanna's in my prophetic mentorship, actually.
Yeah?
Yeah, so she's
Awesome.
definitely growing in the prophetic.
Come on.
Okay, do you have time for a couple more,
Yeah,
buddy?
yeah, let's do it.
Okay. Who's sticking out?
Anna Harriman.
Mm.
And I might have said that wrong. But
Oops, oops. There you go.
okay. So Anna, I saw you in this place of glory. I saw you in this place of glory to glory to glory, which actually is his goodness to goodness to goodness. I see you like being invited into knowing him intimately in a brand new way of his goodness, where you've been contending and you've been asking, for relief, but I see him like showing this goodness to you. And it's this crazy provisionary period where you are stepping into it right now.
Mhm.
And I don't foresee it ending. I think this is your ministry. I think that this is your ministry, and what he's given you, you'll be able to give, because it's just going to continue to multiply. It reminds me of that jar of oil that the widow was given right at the middle of like, well, I'm just going to make this last cake and it's all said and done. But like the prophet says, no, that's not what's going to happen. You're actually going to pour this out and you're going to sell it, and it's never going to end. I keep seeing provision, provision, provision over you. What I initially saw was you in the cleft of a rock, looking at the goodness of God, and it overcoming you to where you walked by other people and they saw God's backside as you walked by. They saw his goodness, and it brought them to him. So
Mhm.
I bless you with that, Anna.
Yeah, I just wanna prophesy over you too, and I just see you as a pioneer. I feel
Yeah,
like you are actually in the middle of pioneering something, that God is birthing something in you,
come on.
and I feel like it has to do with your speaking, either speaking or singing. I don't know if you're a singer, but I feel like there's something that's about to come out of your mouth that it's like, I can't hold it in any longer. I have to share this. And even if you don't feel that yet, I feel like that's coming. And I sometimes when I give prophetic words, or when I feel like I have to say something, it feels like, when you've been chewing on a piece of gum for a really long time, and it's almost like I have to spit it out right now or I'm gonna throw up. You know what I mean? And so I feel like that's what's happening to you. I feel like God has given you a message, and I feel like it's time to release it. So whatever that looks like, if it's a book, if it's speaking, if it's singing, it's time to release it. So I just bless you with that in Jesus' name. Ina. I love that name.
I too. Come on. Oh, there we go. Della's prophesying too.
Come on, Ella.
Come
Or
on.
Della.
You know
Della
what?
and Ella.
You guys prophesy in the comments as well.
Yeah.
Like this isn't just like, like us. Like this is the whole thing of like, what we want to do is set you on fire and provoke you to prophesy,
Yes.
right? It's like I was telling the kids at church, like the Lord Jesus made it so much easier for us, right? To step in and do what we're supposed to do, but he didn't go before us just to make it easy. He
Mm,
went before us so that we would do greater. He said that you will do greater things. The things that you've seen me do, the things that you've seen, you'll do greater, right?
mm.
And it reminded me of was it Roger Bremerman, or I can't remember the last name, but he, at the turn of the century, in the 19th century, he was the first man to break the impossible 4-minute mile record. And now, today, we have somebody who has broken it not long ago. I think it's 3 minutes, 42 seconds, and 13 milliseconds or whatever.
Dang.
The thing is like, that's a mile.
Yeah.
But the minute he broke it, people started breaking his
Yes.
by milliseconds.
Yeah.
By milliseconds. He
Yeah.
broke the 4-minute mile with 3 minutes, 59 seconds, and however many milliseconds, right? So people kept breaking it for centuries by millisecond, by millisecond, by millisecond, by millisecond. And the Lord began to speak to me. He's like, Johnny, I didn't like go in to like create this place and stretch the veil like childbirth,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
I wasn't born so that the mother would have an easier birth the next time. I was born so that when you were born,
Yeah.
yes, it's going to be easy because you have my yoke, but you're going to do greater things than I did. And
Whoa.
it's time for us to step up and do the greater. This is a collective word. We are going into the season of the greater. We are going into the season of his greater provision for
Yeah.
us to do the greater things.
Woo!
And this doesn't just mean financially and monetary. Okay, this is the mind. This is the mind, this is the heart. This is getting the things that we have in our mind to our hearts as well. Stepping into who you are and who you've always been.
Yeah.
Maturity. This is the season of mature sons and daughters. This is the season of getting it done. This is the season where we're like going to stop saying it's right around the corner and we're going to buy the block. So what's around the corner belongs to us. This is a season of ownership. So I declare ownership over God's people. I declare ownership over his sons and daughters. I declare ownership and freedom.
Yeah.
In Jesus' name.
In Jesus' name. And here's the thing, if you see yourself as a pioneer, put pioneer in the comments right now. Type it out. Declare that over yourself. I am a pioneer. Here's what pioneers make a way, right? Pioneers make a way for others. And I love, like, we had Bob Sorge here a couple weeks
Yeah.
ago at our church speaking, and he said that Jesus was like, basically, he was a pioneer. He was
Yeah.
the firstborn. And I have 5 kids, and I know that my first child, that childbirth normally is the hardest, because it makes the passage, it creates the passage, it opens the passage. And so the other kids that came after that, it was much easier, almost too fast.
Come
Like, my
on.
births were too fast. And so that's why I had my last 2 at home, because I was like, I'm not going to make it to the hospital by the time. And so here's the thing. If you are a pioneer, yes, Ella, you're a pioneer.
Come on. We
Pioneers.
all those
Ben
pioneers.
is a pioneer. Teresa's a pioneer. Eileen is a pioneer.
Come
Julie,
on.
you're a pioneer. Yes, pioneers. And that's why you're even on here right now, because you're so hungry for more. If you were not, like, I just want you to give yourself a hand right now,
Yeah.
because you are in probably the 1% of the world's population that you actually want more. You're not content with what's
Come on.
happening right now in the world, and you want to create something new in the heavens, on earth. And so if that's you, if you are a pioneer, you are meant to break down walls, to go around the block so that other people can follow, because maybe they're afraid to go around the block. Maybe they're, like, afraid of the unknown.
Yeah.
And maybe you're afraid of the unknown too, but you do it anyway. You go anyway.
Come on.
So take what God has given you right now. That's what we're saying. Like, whatever God has put in you, do it, because it's not about you. It's not about you, it's about everyone else that's gonna follow you and receive their breakthrough too. Right? Yes. Stand by your yes. Yes, yes, yes. If you want more, like, that's what pioneers like,
Yeah,
why do you think people went, like, from the East Coast? They went from Europe to America because they wanted more. They wanted
yeah.
something else, and then that wasn't good enough, so they moved west. Like, "I want more." And they were scared. It was treacherous and dangerous, but they did it anyway, and now we're here.
Oh, that says a lot about people from living in the West too, huh?
Yeah, that's true, but where do we go now, right?
Right.
Maybe we have to actually go back the other way, right?
Maybe we just go up.
We go up. Mm. Wow, wow. Do you have time for a couple more, or do you gotta
Yeah,
head like,
yeah,
jump off? I know we talked a lot today, but it was so good.
yeah. See, there's a Deborah Erickson.
I was just gonna pick her.
You know Deborah?
I don't know Deborah, nope. Deborah from
Yeah,
Nevada.
from
Hey,
Nevada.
hey.
Is it Nevada or Nevada?
It's probably Nevada.
Because I always say Nevada, but I think they like it better Nevada, right?
Nevada.
It's 111. All right, so Deborah, that's funny because I saw a one, and a one, and then I saw my wife right here say 111, and I was like, well, is that slot machines for Deborah? You know, Deborah, you're the jackpot. You're the jackpot. You know, Deborah, I just want to thank you. I just saw so much love that's come off of you. I saw so much that you have put your hand to, that you have lent your heart to, that you have been a part of preparing. Um, like I've seen you literally preparing a table for people to sit down and eat, and it reminds me of the feast where um, everyone's invited, you know, but nobody shows up because they have their new toys and they want to do their own new toys, or they just want to like, I just want to sit home, Netflix and chill, you know.
Mhm,
So it's extended into the people in the streets, and all the people in the streets show up, but there's not enough people to fill the seats. So it's extended to the people out in the country,
mhm,
you know. And I see you preparing a table for the people in the streets. I see you preparing a table for the homeless. I see you preparing a table for the outcast, those who are pushed away, who
mhm.
and I just keep seeing like mental health restored. So I'm just going to go ahead and say like preparing a place for people who have uh, been touched by mental illness.
Yeah.
Um, but I see you literally, like not figuratively, sitting at a table, and it looks like a Thanksgiving feast. You know, and I don't know if you do that for people. I don't know if you uh, have these dinners or not. But I see you like preparing these dinners and bringing people into, you know, a place where they can actually feel loved and seen and known. And I just want to say thank you that I appreciate what you've done. That I just I hear this gratitude from heaven. Like we were talking about earlier. I don't know if you were on, but we were talking about how gratitude opens up heaven, and how the presence of God is actually this form of gratitude that overcomes us and drives us into this presence, which then gives gratitude. And I just keep seeing heaven's gratitude extended to you. I keep seeing the appreciation from Yahweh to you. And it's one of those places where it's, this is my daughter who I am well pleased.
Mhm,
Listen to her. Look at what she's done. Look at what she's done with what she's been given. And wow, you're a counselor. So Deborah, I want to thank you. And I just see like, I just see grace, and I see the Lord's blessing over you, over your family, over your children. And I see like multiplication, a
yeah.
multiplication of all that that you've multiplied, but I see an extra multiplication being given to you, that you have more. And I bless you with that, Deborah.
Yeah, I love that you're a counselor. So I immediately, before we started prophesying over you, actually saw you as in a nurse's outfit, and I felt like you were I know you're not a nurse, but I like there's heart healing, like you
Yeah.
deal in heart healing, and I saw you like at the cardiac floor, and I saw you with this stethoscope, Deborah, and as you put your stethoscope, like listening to people's hearts, that it actually you're able to take that stethoscope from your ears, from your mind, and speak it into their hearts, and you recalibrate them back to heaven, what heaven is saying. So I just bless you. I bless your ministry because I think it is a ministry. And I bless you in Jesus' name. May God prosper you this season, even in December. I just see prosperity, and I'm not preaching prosperity, but I am preaching prosperity. I feel like there's an open door coming to you soon, and the Lord is saying, when you see that open door, take it, because what's on the other side is going to just multiply everything that you have, everything I've given you, so much more. So I just bless you with that in Jesus' name.
And Deborah, I want to test you with this too, because I saw an open door too, but I saw an open door to a center, like a center was being given to you. I don't know
Wow.
if you've been contending for a new area to practice, or to do what you do, to do counseling in a new place, but I see you actually opening up a center. And to me, it's the Erickson Center. And
Wow.
I just really believe that you're 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 being given more. And I
Yeah.
see you training up other people who are going to, I just moved into this new place. I see you like, if is this place yours? Like, because I see you owning a large center where not only will there be uh, minds restored,
Mm.
bellies filled, but I also see like you raising up people. I see you raising up people and teaching, and providing this perfect place, this peaceful place to learn
Yeah.
and to practice. Excuse me.
So good.
But I see you having this center, and I see so many people coming around, that it being like a world renowned and world famous place where people are going to come and learn from you. I even see like your years being extended. Do not worry about the enemy trying to come and take life away from you. You're like a little girl, and I believe you're going to hear even doctors speak to say, it's as if years have been added to your life. What are you doing?
Mm.
Tell me so that I can do it.
Wow.
Bless you with that.
Wow. That's beautiful. Well,
$7
it's
million ranch for specific.
come on.
Come
Come on. I love this too. Let's see. There's words for
on.
puddle jumpers, giving you the ability to skip. Well, come on.
Come on.
Come on. Well, I think we're gonna let you guys go. Thank you so much for being on here. Thank you, Johnny,
Yeah,
again.
absolutely. My pleasure. I
I'm gonna
appreciate you, Osil.
what?
I appreciate you.
Oh, well, thank you.
I
Thank you.
appreciate you guys for showing up, because you could be
I
anywhere doing
appreciate y'all.
anything, but you're
Yes.
diving into Him.
Thank you guys for showing up. We appreciate you so much. Every single person that was on here today. We appreciate you. Appreciate the happy hour community so much. We'll be on next week, Thursday. And so stay tuned for that. I'm actually going to Disneyland on Thursday, but not till later in the
Hey,
afternoon.
thank
Yay!
you, Josh. I just saw your prophecy over my family and over my children. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you guys. Thank you so much. Such a good, and I've actually been thinking about doing an extended happy hour sometime this month, where maybe even like a 12-hour happy hour. It won't be all me, but have other people come in
Yeah,
and do
dude.
like prophecy, like especially for maybe it'll be like during Christmas and New Year's.
Yeah.
I think that would be cool to do like prophecies for the new year, but have people like in our prophetic community come on and take a slot and just prophesy.
I know it would be responsibility, but it might actually be cool to do it as the new year turns.
Ooh, on New Year's?
Yeah.
That would be cool actually. New Year's Eve,
Yeah.
because it's all over the world, right?
Right.
Oh, something to think about. Who would be into that? But yeah, that would be really cool. Very, very cool. All right, so stay tuned for that. And don't forget about angels. Oh, here's what I want to say about the angels class. If you are in San Diego, if you are in San Diego County, I am actually doing a if you are in San Diego, I am doing a intro to seeing in the spirit class at Beach Chapel on December 12th. So it's in person. It's on December 12th. It's a Monday night. And if you're here in San Diego, you can come to that at Beach Chapel at 6:30 p.m. on the 12th. And so keep a lookout for that. I'll be sending out some reminders for people. So if you can do it in person on the 12th, or you could do it on Zoom on the 17th, which is a Saturday, or you can do both. Hey, you can do both.
You know,
It's not the same course. It won't be completely the same, but one is more of an intro to seeing. This one is specifically working with angels. So there you go.
If you guys are near San Diego or like within driving distance of, and you're looking for hotels or any type of accommodations, reach out to us, DM us. We'll send you some stuff so that you can, actually venture in from further away.
Yeah, that would be so fun. You can come for the weekend. That day, the 17th, we're actually having our spiritual spa day here at Beach Chapel. So it's the healing rooms and the prophetic rooms are open from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. And so this class, the online one, will actually be after that on the 17th. The one in person is on a Monday night, but come in for the weekend. We'd love to hang out with you, and maybe we'll do a happy hour, an actual happy hour.
Yeah.
Out.
And you can suffer the bad weather with us. I mean, it's horribly cold outside right now. It's what, 65, 67?
Yeah, it's terrible.
We're suffering for the Lord.
That is something to think about, though, to do a happy hour weekend.
Yeah.
We just have like happy hour all day. And then we'll actually go to a happy hour somewhere out and about. All right, my friends. Thank you guys so much for being on here. I appreciate you guys so much. And we'll see you soon. See you on Thursday. Bye.
Bye.